In this video, we'll help you set up AudioCipher on your Windows device. After purchase, you'll receive a downloadable zip folder. I have it here in my downloads. Let's begin by clicking on it and selecting Extract All. In this folder, you'll see that we have the Windows installer, as well as a README file that explains how the app works, and an AUCI file. This is a collection of audio and MIDI files that can be loaded into AudioCipher, and you can use them for your projects whether you're running AudioCipher as a standalone application or a plugin. Let's begin by double-clicking the installer. If you receive a security message, click More Info and select Run Anyway. And then proceed through the installation process, and be sure to leave everything set to the default file paths. Once the installation is complete, you can go ahead and close. Now that the installation process is complete, you've received AudioCipher as a standalone application and you've received a VST3 file. If you were an AudioCipher user prior to installing this latest version, your VST3 file will update automatically. Let's take a quick look at where that VST3 file is stored. So begin by opening this PC and then go into your C drive. And then here you'll want to choose the Program Files folder that corresponds to the type of Windows operating system you're running, so either 64 or 32-bit. I'm running with a 64-bit, so let's open this one, and you'll want to go into Common Files, and now you'll see this VST3 folder here, and a new AudioCipher Technologies folder that contains your VST3 plugin file. Let's set up AudioCipher as a VST3 plugin in Studio One. If you were an AudioCipher user prior to downloading the latest version, your VST3 file will update automatically, but we still recommend rescanning your device for plugins just to make sure everything is in sync. So when you start up Studio One, begin by selecting the Home tab on the menu here to the right, and then open the Plugin Manager down at the bottom. In this window, click Update Plugin List at the bottom right to rescan your device, and you should see AudioCipher. We recommend starting your Studio One session with 2 instrument tracks. One of these will be for AudioCipher and the other for a virtual instrument. In this case, I've loaded up a pluck sound in Serum, and this allows us to drag MIDI from AudioCipher into this Serum track so that we can hear how it'll sound in the context of a song. And then we also recommend starting with an audio track so you can pull audio files out of AudioCipher into your Studio One session. Now let's add AudioCipher to the first instrument track. Come over here to the right and select Instruments. Locate AudioCipher in the list, click and drag it, and then drop directly onto the instrument track here. Now we'll need to generate some MIDI information. Open the MIDI generator, and in this case, I'm just going to put together a quick chord progression. So I'll adjust some of these settings. Maybe we want something in D Dorian with some 7th chords, and then I'm just going to type in a word. We'll use the word music to generate a series of MIDI notes. We can play this back in AudioCipher using the playback button here. Now we can drag the MIDI information out of AudioCipher by clicking and holding on the Drag to MIDI button, and then I'm just going to drop this straight onto the grid here next to the Serum track. Now we can take the chord progression that AudioCipher generated and hear it as it sounds through this Serum pluck. Keep in mind you don't need to use exactly what AudioCipher generates for you. We recommend using it as a starting point to inspire new ideas or help you explore new chord voicings that you may not have thought of otherwise. Let's just make a couple changes to this chord progression. Maybe we want to open the voicing a little bit and give it a bit more depth. I'm just going to select the notes along the bottom here and drop those down an octave so that they serve more as a bass line while the other notes hold up the chords above. When you're happy with your edits, we recommend exporting the MIDI and adding it to a new card in AudioCipher so you can come back to it later or repurpose it. To do this, click on the MIDI clip, and then at the top of the screen select Event, and then choose Export Selection. We recommend saving this in a dedicated MIDI folder on your device so it's easy to locate. And just be sure to save this as a MIDI file. I've labeled it Music MIDI to reflect the word that we used to generate this chord progression, so I'll go ahead and save it. Now if we return to AudioCipher, we'll need to create a new card. You'll notice everything is still configured in the MIDI generator using our word music, So let's click the new card button at the bottom. And now we have a new card named after the word we just used to create those chords. And you'll see that there's already a MIDI file here. This is the original chord progression that AudioCipher generated, but let's go ahead and upload the one that we just edited. To do that, click Add Files at the top, and then do a quick search to find that MIDI file you just exported. So I've tracked it down here, and I'll click Open, and now you see that that new MIDI file has been added to the MIDI files list. We can do the same thing with audio. Maybe we want to export this chord progression as it's played through the Serum patch. Again, click on the clip, select Event, and then choose Bounce Selection. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Control-B. Now you'll see this has created a new audio track just below the MIDI instrument for Serum, so you can see the waveform of those chords. And now we can go ahead and export this audio file, doing what we did before by clicking on the clip, selecting Event, and then using the Export Selection option. And again, we recommend saving this in a dedicated audio folder on your device so it's easy to find. So I've just labeled this Music Audio, saving it as a WAV file, so I'll go ahead and save it here. And then again, if we return to AudioCipher, we can click Add Files and do a search for that WAV file. I've found it here, so I'll click Open, and now you'll see that listed here under Audio Files.